Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're all having a good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this video. Now, depending on what video I put out first, I just recorded the changes that they did to Assault Melie's banner. Now, I was looking through the demons that we have in the demons that are on JP, and we're caught up with all of, well, I don't want to say all of the units, but, you know, the more important units besides festival units, and, you know, Valenti, but we're caught up. All of the demons that we have here, they have on JP. Now, a lot of people were saying Assault Melee is trash, but I know you guys summoned on the banner, so I'm not even worried about it. Now, here's the thing with Assault Melee. I was watching Shogun or James's video, whenever you want to, like, whatever you want to call him. So huge shout outs to the boy. But I was watching his video, and he was going over all of the reasons why Assault Melee will be, well, like, eventually become one of the most, I don't want to say broken, but I want to say, like, he has the potential to grow. Like, he has the most potential out of all the festival units, and I do agree with that. Like, I do agree with the fact that Assault Melee probably will in the future, like, probably in the, like, the near future, become one of the best festival units in the game. He already is. Like, I think he's number, I want to say number 2, but Merlin might be above him. Right, Merlin might be above him. I don't know for sure, but he is, regardless, you know, top 3 festival units. But he could potentially be number 1 depending on, you know, the units that they come out with in the future. Now, here's the reason for that. So Assault Melee, he really does need to be built up, and the only way to really do that is for his allies to be hit, or for himself to be hit, I believe. So once he starts taking, you know, damage, or his allies start taking damage, you get to see his passive go off, right? So his passive is very, very nice, because it'll decrease their defense related stats by 15%, and it stacks to 5 times, being a maximum of 75% defense related stats decreased. Now that is amazing. That is very, very good. So once he, you know, builds this up, pretty much he can start just, he's just going to deal massive damage. It doesn't matter what or who you are. The fact that defense related stats are being decreased by 75% at max stat is very, very crazy, right? So yeah, keep in mind that his damage also, you know, comes from the enemy being buffed and himself being buffed, with his skill 1 being Rupture. So this is why Droll's a very, very good unit to have alongside him, because Droll's commandment gives them a buff for resistance, right? So that way, even if they're not running Elizabeth or someone who buffs themselves, you know, Droll's commandment will automatically buff them if they take damage. So it's very nice, actually, very, very nice to have Droll next to him, and this is just gonna do some crazy damage, you know what I mean? So it's very cool that they gave him this. Now, if they make a unit in the future that does the same thing as Droll, but like a little better, then we're talking. Like, then we're talking really, really good game. That's why people want Chandler to be a support for Assault Melee, which I can get by, right? I just don't want him to be straight support for Melee, like to the point where he's just only useful with Meliodas. But then his second card, Amplify, gives, you know, obviously, if you use Red Dediete, Red Escanor, anyone who does amplify damage, you know how powerful this is. Now, mind you, really the only way for him to activate his amplify is for him or his allies to get hit and to take damage, because his passive will increase his basic stats by 5%, and that is considered a passive or an active buff on himself. So very, very nice there. Now, if they do make a unit for the demons, or with commandments or whatever, that ranks up cards or something, woo! Oh boy, this guy's gonna be filthy. This guy's gonna be very, very filthy. But yeah, Assault Melee does have the most potential to grow out of all the festival units, and I like that. I do think Assault Melee is probably the most fun festival unit that came out yet. Maybe Merlin might be tiny bit more fun, but I do think he is probably the most fun out of them all right now that we have on global. Now, if we take a look at all of the demons, right? All of the demons that we have in the game, except like Halloween Meliodas, but who cares about him? We can't use, obviously, these Meliodas because Assault Melee. But let's take a look at, you know, like Green Hendrickson, for example. Green Hendrickson, he'll put debuffs on the enemy team, so he can be useful for overtime damage. I mean, if you want to run him with Assault Melee, you can. he's just not really helping much besides the debuffs. He's not really helping much. However, with Assault Melee's passive, if their defense-related stats are down by, like, let's say 45% with 3 stacks, his debuffs are going to go crazy. I'm just going to say that right now. His debuffs will actually hit very, very hard because of the fact that they're not going to have defense. Like, they're not going to have any type of bulk to protect themselves against Hendrickson's debuff. So it's going to be very, very strong. You could use Blue Zeldris. Like, you actually could potentially use Blue Zeldris. The only problem that I have with that is Blue Zeldris. He doesn't really crit unless he has support. But again, Assault Meliodas does have, you know, his passive. But the problem is, will Zeldris die before, you know, Assault Melee gets his stack with his defense-related stats down? I don't know, right? Will he be able to stack, you know, the defense-related debuff, the defense-related stats debuff? I don't know before Zeldris dies, but, you know, it is possible to run him alongside his brother. Red Zeldris obviously is a main staple in his team because if you put him on the sub slot, he is going to boost Assault Melee's basic stats even further by 6% per commandment. I believe it's per commandment on the ally or enemy team. So very good, you know, passive there to have on the back. And then, I mean, Estarossa could be viable. The only problem I have with Estarossa, though, is like he's good, but would he be able to, you know, withstand the punishment from the 1? I don't know. I mean, you could try him, though. You could try him. I'm not going to say he's a bad option. You could try him. Just don't know how good he would be. I don't think I've seen Estarossa play with Assault Melee on JP. Yeah, I actually don't know. So, yeah, I'm not sure without that one. Absolutely not. Red Didiete, I would say actually Green Didiete would be better over Red. But all in all, Blue Didiete is probably better. I'm not going to lie. She is actually probably better than both of them. Like, because she's Blue Droll, but she just... I would say Blue Droll's better, but this is very good. This is very good because she taunts, she increases her defense-related stats, and she becomes immune to stun. So Goddess Elizabeth literally cannot... Like, she's the perfect counter to Goddess Elizabeth because she also removes buffs, right? Now, you don't want to use, like, that before the, you know, the Rupture card with Assault Melee if you're going to run them side by side, simply because you do need Rupture to proc. But she's still very, very good for him. She's a good support, actually. Like, she's very good at support for him. And then she increases basic stats, well, for herself, right? Up to 3 times by 10%. So she can hit hard. She procs her own amplify. She can disable their ultimate moves once she hits the maximum stack. So she's not a bad option. It's just she's very limited. So if you have her 6 out of 6, that's actually not that bad if you want to run her alongside Assault Melee. I might do that just for fun. I don't know yet. I really don't know, because then I'd have to super awaken her, and I don't want to waste the coins on her. But yeah, out of all the Dedietes, the blue one is probably the best to use out of both of them. Now, I actually was thinking about this. Red Monspeed might not be bad either. Red Monspeed might go hard too, because Red Monspeed has AoE weak point. This is very strong, considering Assault Melee decreases their defense-related stats by 15%. Putting weak point AoE with Monspeed, that's actually very powerful. Now, the chances of you proccing his ult and then using this with also Assault Melee's defense-related stats debuff, not high, but still, you're gonna do a very good amount of damage with this card. I was actually wanting to make a video on this to see if I could make it proc or whatever. Why is he not added to my favorites? But yeah, I was gonna actually do a video on that to see if I could like do some damage with Red Monspeed. He could, you know, it could be like a little fun thing to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, you could run some of these units, but we're obviously gonna get more demons. That is a guarantee. We still have Ominous Nebula Zeldris. We still have Dark Souls boss Estarossa. We still have, who is it? Like the Demon King, Chandler, and Kusak. We still have a lot of units that you could potentially run with this Assault Meliodas when they come out. How good they are will determine if you run them with them, but still, the demons are very, very good. You can even use blue Fraudrin if you really wanted to, right? Obviously red Melascula is good. I mean, you could use blue Melascula, but and you know, Fraudrin wouldn't be that great. But yeah, that's all of the demons we have so far. We are caught up with JP. There's no units on JP that they have out right now that's a demon, so we are caught up. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Assault Meliodas' team compositions. Let me know what you think of the unit himself. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're not already. But as always, guys, I will see you all next time.